Hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to Trackside, proudly brought to you by World Sports Betting. Bet with the best, bet with WSB, a leader in the fixed odds betting market and number one in the anti-post betting market. Well, I trust that everyone's well, and hopefully it's been a good week's punting, whichever center you've been following. And looking forward to this weekend's racing. There's some feature races to look forward to at the Big T on Saturday, and it's a double header with Gravel on Sunday. We've got our 4 to follow on Trackside, so away we go with those 4 horses, and hopefully everything goes according to plan. It's a late start for us at Turfentine. We'll begin in race number 8, and we've picked out a filly here that I think has plenty of scope on what she's shown to date. She is on a hat-trick as well, and her name is Bon Vivant. She's trained by Johan Janse van Vieren, will be partnered by Cabello Mazzaniane, and she's a lightly raced 3-year-old. She's had 7 starts to date for 3 wins and 2 places. And when you look at the way she's got the job done over 1200, 1400 and 1450, she's been impressive each time she's won. And when this race came along, I think although she is under sufferance here against some smart older fillies, I just feel she could be very cleverly placed by a stable with 50 kgs on her back. Yes, she is under sufferance, as I mentioned, but the entire field will have to give her weight, including the horse in the best weighted column, which is Zarina, from the visiting stable of Candice Bass Robinson. She'll actually have to give her 12 kgs over this 1400 meter trip, and that's a lot of weight. But obviously Zarina's earned a rating, whereas this filly, she's still improving, and she's on the up with regards to her rating. So you can take a stance and say, is she better than a 95? Well, I personally think that she is, because the run that impressed me the most thus far in her career was a win in the Secretariat Stakes. Now that day she won superbly well over the course and distance, and she beat a very decent field of 3-year-olds. When I had a look at some of the runners that took their place in that field, the one runner that was a clear standout is Litigation, that she beat comfortably, and we know that Litigation has since come out to win the Derby Trial and also the Igoli Mile. So been off for, we'll call it 2 months that she's been off for. That's not a concern for her. It's a small break. She's got no weight. This will be a true test for her, no doubt about it. Against this quality of field, we'll see how good she really is at this stage of her career, and I'm just hoping she can raise her game to the next level and get us off to a flying start this weekend. That will all begin in race number 8, number 9, Bon Vivant. Then it's quick and fast at Turfentine. Maybe you could bag the last double, because our next to follow will come up in race number 9, and this is a merit-rated 96 handicap. The distance is 1160. Now, Valdoche for Paul Peter and Warren Kennedy. He started off his career with the bank. He really impressed him with his first 3 wins, and since then, well, barring that run in the World Sports Betting Guineas, you could say that he hasn't done too badly over 1400 and 1600 meters in competitive fields as well, where he's earned stake checks. But I like the fact that they dropped him in distance last time out over 1200 meters, and he really tried all the way to the line. He put in a determined challenge, but he was no match for the eventual winner, Quantum King. And over this 1160 trip, on that last start, it's clear to see that he did beat Visiway, but when you do the math, then Visiway is now 2.5 kgs better off at the weights with Valdoche. Will give him every chance of possibly reversing the form now that he gets that 2.5 kg pull in the weights. But I'm hoping that over this 1160 trip, Valdoche can maintain the form with Visiway and get the better of him again this time round. The stable's superbly hot at the moment, Paul Peter. So is the jockey Warren Kennedy. Paul Peter is chasing the trainer's title, and he's closing in fast, one must say, on Justin Slade. But The big money now still has to come up during KZN's champion season, and I think that is where it will be a separation from the men and the boys, because those big feature races with the prize money on offer will definitely be the difference between winning and losing the title. And I think Justin Snate, when you look at the string that he's going to be bringing down for the KZN season, one would think that he holds the aces against Paul Peter. But well done to Paul. I mean, he's making a determined challenge to try and win his first trainer's title, but Warren Kennedy is well clear. I think he's around 70 clear of the next best, who is now Richard Fourie, and barring incident and anything unforeseen, he will be crowned champion jockey at the end of the season. So yeah, coming back to race number 9, Valdoshe, we're hoping can end this day off on a high and make it a double for us, races 8 and 9 at Turfentine. And then I saved 2 horses for Greyville on Sunday, and the first of our 2 comes up in race number 3. Now, race number 3 is a maiden plate for 3-year-olds. It's over 1,600 meters, and this horse, Spy Master, I think will be hard to oppose. Yes, there is some form to go about in this field, but he's had 2 runs. He debuted at Scottsville. It was a fair introduction. He ran a 3rd behind his stable companion, Imelenze Yokoduduma. And that was he was well beaten in that race behind Imelenze Yokoduduma. But since then, we know that the stable companion, Imelenze Yokoduduma, has since come out to win in a Pinnacle Stakes against 3-year-olds, beating a very, very good field. And then last time out, Spy Master, over 1,400 meters at Greyville. The stable took their chance. They decided, let's have a go. We'll run him from draw 12 out of 12. And he just found one better on the day, went second behind Beechurst from the stable of Guard Puller. Now, in that race behind Beechurst, let's have a look at it. He's beaten all of Lake Como, Red Soul, Babati, Mandela Effect, and Ikopo. So he's beaten all of them there. And you can add a winner to that form line. 13 lengths back was a certain, oh my word, it's Roy, that came out to win the other day at Greyville. So the form line's looking good, and it's a big, big draw swing around for this horse. I mentioned drawn 12 out of 12 last time out, now drawn 3. And if he just continues to improve in his career with plenty of scope for natural improvement to come, I think he'll be a very hard horse to beat. I like him, and I like him a lot. And it is the first leg of the Pick 6 as well, guys. So if you're looking for a banker, this is my idea of a banker on the card. Number 3, Spy Master in race number 3. And then we go to race number 5, and this is the 4th of our 4 to follow this weekend. And it is Armagam, horse number 3, a son of Duke of Marmalade. And you can't fault his form on what he's achieved thus far. He's had 11 runs for 2 wins and 8 places. And he's a solid horse. He always gives off his best. He never seems to run a bad race at all. And when you look at his runs on the turf, well, it's some time that he's been on the grass, this horse. He actually raced on the turf back in the maidens, where he raced at Scottsville, having had 2 places, a 3rd and a 4th. Since then, the stable have kept him to the poly track, where he's had back-to-back wins over 1,900 and 2,000 meters. His last run is worth touching on. That's the run that I think gives him an outstanding chance of winning here, because you need to watch that run carefully. The visitor, Grimaldi, from the stable of Paul Peter, won a good race, but off the locals, off the KZN horses, he was the clear pick as a second, finishing second in that race. And that was a merit-rated 86 handicap, where he did carry a low weight, 53.5 kgs. But considering the company that he found himself in, I thought it was a great run. The average rating in that race, for your information, was an 80, 81. That was a solid average rating of a field, because now he drops down to what's the average rating now? 69. I mean, from an 81 average rating last time out to a field of an average rating of 69, whilst he is carrying 60 kgs on his back compared to the 53.5 last time out. It's down in class and up in weight. That's the way you're going to have to read it. And there were excuses last time out as well. I just see in the form guide that I'm using that he cast a right for shoe as well. So we're not saying that, you know, could have made a world of difference to his chances, but it certainly cost him for, you know, maybe finishing a bit closer to Grimaldi. Jockey Warren Kennedy has got to know him. He's partnered him his last 2 starts, where he's run second in both, so he'll be hoping to go one better with this horse, number 3, Armagam. And when I look at the field that he takes on, well, there's plenty of form to go about. There's no, you know, doubting that. It is a competitive race, but I'm just going to judge him on his last start. I think the field that he met that day, we mentioned the average rating being an 81, the average rating now being a 69. Hopefully, you know, back on the turf, we can see him back to his best, number 3, Armagam. And that is a wrap, guys, of our 4 to follow. It will be up on screen, the horses that we've put down as 2 trebles on the World Sports Betting menu. It's 2 horses at Turfentine on Saturday and 2 horses at Greyville on Sunday. I trust that you're going to have a wonderful weekend. Whatever you're up to, keep it safe, and hopefully, if you're playing the ponies, you make it a profitable weekend for yourself. From myself, Deez Dayanand, as always, on behalf of World Sports Betting, thanks to all the punters, but more importantly and more especially, thanks to you, the valued punter, for your continued support. Until next weekend, you take care. Salani Gashle.